Hi. Hello. How are you doing today? How is your week? I hope you had an enjoyable weekend and I hope you are doing fine. So, I want to answer some few questions that I've been getting frequently, and I'm sure there are some people who might be still asking the same. So, I want to answer those questions so that you also, if you have those questions and planning to ask them, so that you too can have the answers to those questions. So the first question that I've been getting frequently is how can I create a good VA portfolio? So when it comes to creating a portfolio, it's easy. You can go to Canva, register an account, and then you create a portfolio based on what you want to focus on and the clients that you are interested in working with. So the biggest thing here or issue here is for you identifying who you want to work with, and then from there you go create a portfolio like the one that Lizzie created. You could enter, you could add that you have received training, and then maybe before you had the experience in doing something that is related to whatever that you want to do now. And on the part where it says that you have the part where it says about the testimonials, previous clients, you may say that one is coming soon because you're sure you are a newbie, you are starting out. Or you could find someone, you work with that person on your area of interest, and then ask that person to give you a testimonial. So that testimonial, you can include it on your portfolio. And I'm sure every one of you saw the portfolio that Liz created. So if you haven't seen that one, you can go see that one and then drive your inspiration from that so that you can create another one or yours like that. So if you don't have an account with Canva, go ahead and register and use that Canva to create a portfolio. Another question I've been asking, people have been asking, what are the rates? And I remember I mentioned that you should also know the client's budget before you start mentioning whatever is in your mind. So someone was asking, after I know the client's budget, how much do I charge? Is it per project or per milestone? For per milestone, I think it works better when you are using Upwork, but when you are having direct clients, it's good to charge per hour or per project. And most of the time, or in my previous conversations, I've always stated that it's very okay, or it's good that you work on per project rather than working on per hour, because when it comes to per hour, you are trading your time with money, and which can be very overwhelming because you are working online because you want that work freedom, you want to be free from all that pressure that you have the deadlines. But when you charge per project, you agree with the client, this project is going to take 2 days and I'm going to complete it by that day. So you don't have that project like every hour there is someone monitoring your navigation on the browser, or someone who wants to see if you completed that hour working or you are just snooping around and you are not doing anything. So when you charge per project, it takes off that pressure when you're working. And even if the power goes off, you can still say, when it comes back, I'll still be working. So how do you know the rate? The rates that I would recommend for someone to charge, someone who's starting out to charge per hour, is you start charging from $8 upwards. So from $8 upwards, you can charge from there as a beginner. And remember, the more experience you get, the higher you charge. So as you continue getting experience, your rates continue to rise. So you can start from 8 upwards. Sometimes clients can tell you their overall budget for the project. Let's say someone wanted you to create a website, and that client tells you, my budget for this project or for creating this website is $300, and maybe you are thinking about charging that client $200. So when he mentions $300, You don't go back and say, I was about to charge you $200. You just say, maybe I wanted to charge you $350, or you can now negotiate from there. And for you to know the exact rates before you rush into telling the client, this is what I'm going to charge, you can check some VA websites to see how much they charge for website creation or whatever you're interested in working or in doing. And then from there, you can get the idea of what you want to charge your client or whoever you're going to work with. So check on websites on the services that you're offering. From there, you can get an idea of what you want to charge your client when it comes, or at the moment you have a client. Another question, if I get a client who offers me a design job and I don't know design, but I want the job, how do I go about this? That's another question that someone asked. Or maybe you're asking the same question, like, if a client is giving me social media management job and I don't know how to do it, how do I go about it? If you're interested in a service, you should learn that skill first. If you're interested in offering a certain service, ensure that you learn that skill before you start offering that one. And if it happens that you had a client on a different skill, or on you're offering a different service, and then a client comes in and says, because I trust you, I want to give you this task so that you can do it for me. What you should do is to partner with another VA. So when a client is telling you he's going to give you this task, you can talk to that VA and tell that VA, I'm going to pay you this and you do this. So that means you're going to charge the client, keeping in mind that work is not going to be done by you, it's going to be done by someone. So when you charge that client, charge the client including the fee that you're going to pay someone. So it's like that's why most clients hate working with agencies, because they know an agency is going to charge extra so that you can pay the person who is going to do that work. So ensure you partner with other VAs so that you can have that extra money. You don't have to let a client go. Partner with someone. You're offering social media management, you don't know copywriting, partner with a copywriter. You're offering social media management, you don't know how to create landing pages, partner with someone who does that. So that when a project comes, a client pays $300, you pay your VA $200, you take that $10, you're good to go. So it's all about, if that's not what you're offering and you haven't started it, you can partner with someone so that you can support one another. The same case applies. That person could be doing something and then he gets a client in an area of your interest. He gives you that client, he takes the profits and you win. Both of you win. So win-win in both situations. Another thing people are asking, when you create an account for a client and you want to transfer that page to him, like you created an FB page for your client and now you are parting ways, you don't want to keep managing that page because you're not working for that client anymore. What you do in the initial stages, ensure that when you're creating that page, you create that page and then make your client an admin, so that when you leave, your client can revoke your role on that page. How can I become a certified VA even without samples or testimonials? So for certification or becoming certified, I shared a link with you that you should check on how to become certified. Those are some of the processes, and one of them is you can get testimonials easily without having to struggle. Testimonials should not be something that's stressing you out. You could ask someone to give you a testimony in exchange for something or for your service. Let's say you're offering social media management and you're looking to have testimonials. You could talk to someone who has a busy group, and these I've mentioned before, and Doreen mentioned it the other day. You could look for someone who has a busy page or group. Ask that person to allow you manage his page or group for some months, maybe 2, 1, 3, or whichever period that you agree. And after that period, you ask that person to give you a testimonial. So you've gotten yourself a testimonial without stressing yourself. And within that period, you're managing that website, that page or group, what you should do is to learn all the ins and outs of managing a page or managing an account or managing a group. Learn everything that you need, ask questions, so that by the end of that period, even if that person is going to give you a testimony, he gives it wholeheartedly without feeling that he's just doing you a favor. So at the end of the day, after you've learned everything about managing a page or an account, an Instagram account or a big group, that person will give you a genuine testimonial. So both of you win. He wins, you win, because you've been managing his page for this period. He hasn't paid even a penny, and you have also gained that testimonial. You've gained additional skill. So that's how you get a testimonial. And samples to showcase. You already managed a page. You already have now a sample that you can show to your incoming client that this is my work and this is what I'm able to do. So you give your client that a link to that page that you have been managing, so that he looks at it and says, okay, you've been doing excellent work. That's how it happens. Even if you are doing article writing, you could, if you don't trust yourself with the writing, you could go to someone. There's so many people there in the groups who have websites and they don't have time to write. You go to that person, you tell that person, I know you have a website and I checked it out. I realized you haven't posted an article. Maybe if you don't have time, I could write one article in exchange for a testimonial. I could write a 500-word article in exchange for a testimonial. And that's how you gain that sample, you gain that testimonial, just as easy as that. I don't know why people are struggling getting testimonials. Another way, if you're a writer, a good way to get a sample or a testimonial is to go to .writer. .writer.com allows you to write articles, you get paid. So in the process of you getting paid, you write that article, it gets sold. And if it gets sold, that means you're a good writer, or someone somewhere likes your writing style. So you get that, you can share that link to the articles that you've written that have been sold on .writer. The easiest way. Another question that I think this is the last one. How do I create a professional job proposal without work experience? What I've noticed is that most people are worried about having experience. Experience shouldn't worry you. You should be worried about how to convince your clients that you're the best, even if you haven't done something before, even if you haven't worked online before. So that is what should be worrying you, and not the experience. There are people out there who've been in this industry for 5 years and yet they're not the best. So that one should not worry you. You should be thinking about how to handle your clients, identifying their pain points. For example, someone is looking for a VA, and in his job description, he says, I'm a very busy person. I'm looking for a VA to help me with the research, to help me with social media management. So from there, you have identified that this person doesn't have the time. He needs someone to help him free up his time so that he can focus on other work or on other things that are very important to him. So that's one thing that you're looking to solve. So when you're writing that proposal, you tell that person, I know you're very busy, but I'm going to do this and this to help you have extra time so that you can focus on your family and other things that are very important to you. That's one thing. So when you're writing that proposal, it's not about experience. Yes, experience is very important as well, but since you don't have that experience, focus on solving the problem of your client. I've always said that that client is like a patient and he has come to the hospital to look for medication. You are that nurse who that client is expecting to help him recover from whichever disease that he's experiencing or is suffering from. So what you're going to do is to identify the problem of your client, mention it in the proposal, tell the client, this is what I'm going to do to solve your problem. Because if every one of us wrote that proposal and said, I'm a VA, I have 5 years experience, without telling the client this is what you're going to do to solve your problem, then that's useless. Because the client needs a solution and not your experience. You could be experienced, but you could be having those 5 years of experience, but you don't know how to solve the problem of your client. So writing a killer proposal is very important. That's why you realize most VAs, when they are writing their pitch to clients or to potential clients, they tell them, what if I gave you 5 extra hours a week? So by telling that person like you could help him have 6 extra hours a week, you are starting to have him think like, okay, this could be a life-saving person, or this could be a life-saving opportunity. Because if he's busy and you're going to give him 6 extra hours a week, that means you're going to be the solution to his problems. He's going to have more time to focus on other things than having to worry that a certain project hasn't been done, research hasn't been done. So focus on solving the problems of your client and not that experience. Because if you don't know how to convince a client, even with your experience, you can't get that client. So first, learn how to convince a client. How do you write that killer proposal that changes someone's mind about the different candidate that he has been interviewing the entire week? How do you write that killer proposal? Someone's looking for a social media manager. He just said, I'm looking for a social media manager. Do you go there and just say, I have 2 years of managing social media profiles, and that is it? No, you just tell that person, yes, I know you're looking at social media manager. I have the experience. I've been managing pages for some days or for some years, but then when I checked your page, I realized you're missing this and this, or your graphics aren't that good enough, or you're not using videos to market your business, or you're not posting videos, and I know videos can do the magic in converting, or in terms of sales conversion. So something of that kind. So in that way, you are getting that person to give you attention. Okay, this person is a social media manager, and she has mentioned I'm not using videos, and she thinks if I use videos, I'm going to increase engagement. That person might be thinking he wants to try you to try those videos and see if there will be more engagement on his page or on his account or whatever platform that he uses. So focus on solving the problem of your client rather than saying, I have 10 years of experience. Confuse that client first. If you have more questions, you are free to send in your questions. Yeah, I'll be happy to respond. And this one was for Phil Masila and many others who have been asking questions of this kind. And so for those struggling to create a portfolio, I'll create a video for that so that I can share with you a Canva, how to create one in Canva. Instead of you creating that website, creating a page, if you don't know how to create all those, you can use Canva, and then you share a link with your clients. They look at that. If they like it, they hire you. And in fact, if you learn how to create that in Canva, it's another skill that you're adding to your set, because someone will look at that graphic and say, oh, this person knows how to create stunning graphic that I may be needing in the future. And there you get your client, or you may start selling those locally, because there are people looking for someone to create a digital resume for them. So if you learn using Canva, there's so many things that it's rewarding actually. Thank you.